larger than the planes themselves. Well, this is the story of one of the most exciting assignments a photographer ever asked for. This is Assignment Jet Colorama, Kodak's famed Colorama in Grand Central Terminal in New York City. 18 feet high and 60 feet across. No cinch to get a picture like this, even in a photographer's own studio. Now, let's meet the man who took the world's first air-to-air Colorama.
My name is Ralph Abdurski. I was assigned to meet the Blue Angels at the Naval Air Station in Key West, Florida. They were there for practice flights before starting the more than 60 shows they were going to do across the land during the coming year. So my project had to fit into their busy schedule. Boy, these were the finest and most cooperative bunch of guys I've ever known. We'd had an earlier photo flight to find out what problems we had to lick. And using a test shot we got on that flight as a guide, we were ready to take the final crack at it. The weather station had reported ideal flying conditions and good cloud formations over the Caribbean. The last day we'd have good weather for a week. Man, I was nervous. This had to be it. That's Harry Burns of the Grumman Aircraft Company with me. He'd had a lot of photo flying experience with the Blue Angels, and his advice sure was a big help. We had about 10 minutes to get our camera loaded into the photo plane and mounted before takeoff. The Navy had loaned me an aerial mapping camera, and we had it loaded with 40 feet of negative color film. That's enough film for over 1,800 snapshots. It's no snapshot camera, though. It weighs over 85 pounds. There. Commander Zeb Nod had been made leader of the Blue Angels a couple of months before. He's flown over 6,500 hours. I wondered what to call a leader of a group like this. Skipper? Commander? Well, the Blues gave me the answer. They call him Boss. Captain Stoney Mayock's the Marine representative on the team and flies the right wing position. Lieutenant Herb Hunter's from El Paso, Texas. He flies plane number 3. Hi, Raz. Lieutenant Bob Rasmussen. He flies the slot position. In the photo plane, we'd mounted the camera on flexible cords to eliminate plane vibration. Also made it easier to swing around to just about any shooting angle. Well, here we go. The photo plane's a specially equipped Navy Neptune bomber. We had to take off about a half hour earlier than the Blue Angels to reach the rendezvous point at the same time, way out over the ocean near Cuba. At that, with two 3,700 horsepower prop engines and 2 jets, we weren't exactly poking along. These supersonic Grumman Tigers are fantastic aircraft. In jet lingo, they aren't started up or wound up, they're lit up. Before taxiing out, they check the smoke that's used to trace their formations while in flight. They can call those weird noises hunks. Those heat waves give you some idea of the power of these planes. The Blue Angels don't just fly in formation. They taxi and take off in formation with only 3-foot clearances between wing and canopy. It's an incredible combination of skill, training, and power. With me in the photo plane at the rendezvous point is Lieutenant Mark Peralta, Public Information Officer of the Blue Angels. He's in radio contact with the formation. I'm ready with my camera, and here they are, right on schedule. Mark's all set to relay my hand instructions to the formation by radio. Here comes the boss for some last-minute radio instructions.
Okay, Navy 1 coming in.
There's some good clouds up ahead for us, so anytime you're ready for the first.
Coming in, Mark. Okay, you all set, Ralph?
Roger, boss.
Okay, let's try to get this now in 2 or 3 passes.
Okay, gang. Let's get a good one.
Oh, just a walking along. Just a rolling along.
That's the biggest brownie camera I've ever seen.
Oh, it's just those clouds in the background. We're gonna have to get lower.
Yeah, it takes some rest.
You got a spot there.
Roger, spot.
We figured to get the formation in close and a little above us. So when they banked, we'd get a shot of the underside of the wings. Turned out that the air was a bit bumpy, and Mark was talking them in close and pulling the formation up tight for my first shot. Here's Mark.
In order. Hold it fast. Order. On. Now. Roll now. Order off.
After the first shot, I found that the formation had to be in still closer since my camera was critically focused at just 275 feet. Here we go.
Order on now. Roll now. Clear, clear. Clear, clear, Stoney. Clear, clear, boss.
While Mark was getting the formation into position for the next shot, I heard by radio that the planes had only enough fuel and water for one more pass at the photoplane. Now I really was worried. I wasn't sure I had framed the last shot right. Here we go. Get him tight, Mark. Get him tight. Now. Mark, we got it. When I got back to Rochester, I could hardly wait to see what we got. It turned out that we had 2 great shots. In fact, it was tough to choose between them. But this one looked best. It was sharp as a razor, and the cloud background was great. After a critical check of the color negative, it was hurried to the Colorama laboratory in Kodak Park. Dust spots. If you don't get rid of them, they'd look as big as baseballs on the enlarged picture. It's then mounted in the carriage of this special enlarger. The negative is mounted sideways so that narrow sections of the negative can be exposed one at a time onto strips of 18-inch wide and 18-foot long color positive film 38 feet away. That's a 45 times enlargement. So the focus naturally has to be needle sharp. Now the exposure for the single strip is made onto the color positive film. Back from the processing laboratory, the strips are carefully matched. This has to be done with the utmost precision so that the match is perfect. Holding the strips firmly in position, these skilled technicians join them together with transparent tape. It takes 40 of these strips to make the 60-foot-long Colorama picture. You know, I just realized that's the distance from home plate to the pitcher's box. The fully assembled Colorama is rolled up on an 18-foot spool. The camera I used to get this shot was big enough, but I'd sure like to see the one that could use that hunk of film. The canvas wrap film is shipped in this specially designed box by railroad. Pretty convenient. Right from Rochester by rail to Grand Central in New York. The job of hanging the Colorama starts in the late evening hours when a specially designed electric crane hoists the precious roll of film into an upright position. These men are part of a crew that mounts the Colorama. They have to have plenty of experience to handle this delicate job. Well, they get it, because a striking new Colorama picture is put up every 3 weeks. That's a real ticklish operation. That roll of film weighs over 350 pounds. Once the roll is upright, it's wheeled across the diffusion sheet that illuminates the picture. That sheet is lit up by more than a mile of closely spaced fluorescent tubes, a huge wall of light to recreate the beautiful color and form of pictures from all over the world. This is really the big moment for me. For the Blue Angels, too. I sure hope they like it. What do you think, boss? Boy, was I about ready to bust. But a picture is not made by the guy behind the camera. It's really made by the guys in front of it. Sure thrilled me that the Blue Angels were proud of it, too. All the effort was worth it for this. So, a last look for us. Millions of other people would see it next. So, that's my story. My assignment, Jet Colorama.